We are willing to invest, and others are willing also to invest. Content creating is not expensive, as you said. I do believe everyone has an iPhone. An iPhone is a potential camera to produce up to standard, whatsoever you call it, resolution of the content. So I do believe it's need innovation. Innovation is required, and this is the last one, Kafuki, if you can allow me. Sorry, I'm taking too much time, but I have to say thank you. No worries. My comments will be too much.
Okay, we did not receive a lot of questions. Basically, we just didn't receive any question direct to us as Juba Eco TV. But allow me just highlight very briefly concerning a program that you try to suggest about culture. As Juba Eco TV, we have the Nation 64, which is a cultural program, which basically highlights culture, lifestyle, the traditional marriages, the local foods that we eat. These are very unique programs which are very monetizable for purposes of monetization. We have this program running every Saturday. This is a program that we believe can shape the discussion on the culture of and diversity of South Sudan as a nation. Maybe to just give a brief highlight is that you get in this program, the elders, they get to appeal to young people on some of the things that are happening, and they think they need such things to change, as well as the young people also get an opportunity to appeal to the elders about how the world is changing and how probably we should come to a consensus and move together with the world. And lastly, allow me just reiterate on the aspect of prohibiting some of these things. We are well aware that all over the world, the biggest business world over, multi-billion business, is food business and drinks business. You will agree with me on this. And you find that most of these, let me give for example, the things that are prohibited. How I wish we could say safe use, okay? Safe use, because you find the same people who are going to prohibit alcohol, for example, are the same people who are taking alcohol. Then you ask them, why would you prohibit? You put something on law, you want to prevent other people from making use of it, then other people are taking. Okay, I'm just giving this as an example. I am not here to steer discussions about alcoholism and stuff like that. Okay, and lastly, I was trying to say, how about we say such places like the betting centers, they can be opened like in the afternoon, okay? And maybe we say 25 years and above are the only people to access such places, to protect the young people who may engage in such businesses against their will because they are minors. I think this is a better way of consumer protection than deciding and say we have prohibited this. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you. My advice to all of you is to use the social media platforms and online responsibly. Improve your digital literacy so that whatever you post, make sure that you post it taking the responsibility that it is something that is accurate, and if you are taken to court for it, you will actually defend yourself based on what you actually posted. If you are not sure of something, and if you don't have this journalistic ethics, please again, we are here to say government is there to protect the nation and to protect the public from harmful products. Even that's why I have like a bit of standard. Even from the these non-alcoholic foods, everything that you are getting, and those who are actually the alcoholic campaigners trying actually to destroy our nation with those drugs, cocaine, and all that, is the ones that we need actually to bring them to book, and so that the country should be safe. Otherwise, we don't advocate for things that are harmful. If there are media that are advocating for those are dangerous media, they are more dangerous like the gunmen that are killing us on the streets. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Bingul shukran lekuluzol. Shara kukaman kanjuzu min the panelists. I want to say let me hand over the mic to my colleague, that is Sarah.
Let's give our moderator, Kafuki Jada, and all the panelists a bigger round of applause. It has been a very insightful conversation. Thank you so much, Kafuki. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still having a presentation by Meta. How many of you know Meta? I know the people that didn't raise their hands know Meta. And we're going to be having a presentation on Meta. So we're going to release everybody for lunch, but request all of us to return in time because it's an online session. And if we delay, we might miss or not participate in this session at all. So if possible, return exactly at 3. Before 3. Return before 3 back to the hall because the session will start exactly at 3. Thank you. Have a nice lunch and return in time. I'll be here waiting for all of you.
There was one Juba Echo where we have talked a lot on the issues of the media. And from the Media Authority, we have a quite number of presentation, and a lot of things were listed as part of the event, as part of the point that was supposed to be taken. So the DG for Media Authority has emphasized a lot media in the country. It's number of users from South Sudan are using for their benefit. So he asked people to use media for the benefit of the country, among others, instead of using it to ruin other people's reputation. We have also heard that media landscape is going through transformation into a digital space, so there is a need to improve affordability and accessibility so that everyone is able to have access to the new media as well as the media in general. How are they going to do it? They will tell us. As for now, they're connecting the entire country so that everybody is able to have access to the information ahead of the general election that will take place in December this year. So now I'm joined by the Director of National Communication Authority, the Director of Corporate Affairs, who will tell us more about this event, what the event is all about. So DG, Director. So Director, welcome to SSBC. We are live now, joining them live. So briefly tell us what the whole event is all about and what is its significance to the people of South Sudan, since this is the 4th town hall of the National Communication Authority.
It's more about leveraging connectivity and also working with the stakeholders on strategies on how to improve on connectivity, digitalization, and innovation. Above all is also an avenue of attracting young people to become more innovative, to bring ideas on board that can continuously improve this space. There's also been discussions around the cybersecurity and the content. So as you heard before from Media Authority, they are talking mainly about content. What content is acceptable? What content can really carry our country forward? And who is there to make sure that these contents are in line? So those are the things that we are looking at today. Also bringing in international stakeholders to see how South Sudan is improving. As you heard before, there's been a lot of conversation on South Sudan being a young country, but we said no, being young, you should take up the long strides on how you can improve your connectivity, how you can reach out to better performances, better infrastructures, and better services to your people.
So what plans do you have ahead of December general election towards connecting the other states that are not yet connected?
What national communication is in the strategy comes in, working with the stakeholders in how to strategize and improve on rural connectivity through.
We have seen from National Communication Authority quite a percentage of women dominating the authority. What is the secret and what is that things that is promoting women?
Okay, the women have not yet started dominating, but at the moment, the DG is working on reforms, okay, and improving the number of women in this sector. There were quite a few, but last year he worked on advertising and giving more chances to ladies. And as of now, even the voices of the engineers and the other women who are working in the authority is now starting to be heard. It's giving room and space for the women to understand that they have a very important role they play in leveraging connectivity, improving digital space, and also initiating innovation. Yeah.
Okay, the viewers were expecting Meta to come because we were told they are among the invites. So what is the status? Are they present, or how are they going to present?
DG yesterday talked to that. It was not possible for them to come in person, but they will be online. So everything will be live. And with this virtual space, even if they are online, it will be like they are live. So we'll be having them live on to discuss, and people can raise questions and concerns in relation to the cyberspace in South Sudan. Yeah.
All right, that was. Thank you so much, DG. Can you tell your names to my audience?
Oh, I'm called Dr. Labanya Margaret. I'm the head of corporate affairs at the National Communication Authority.
Well, thanks you, DG, for that insight information. Thank you. We are done with you for now. Back to you, the audience of SSBC. We are now taking a short break from the NCA as we are live from Radisson Blu. So like we said before, dissemination of harmful information on social media is condemned by the media authority, among others. Lack of access to media, especially people who are in rural area, is being worked on, as the hashtag is always connecting South Sudan, and they're expecting by 2028 the entire country would be connected by then. So a few things from Director General Sabana Abui, where he has talked so much about the needs to improve connectivity in the country. Like I stated earlier, he also emphasized on the content promotion and the content creation, whereby he's urging people to use social media for content promotion in order to benefit instead of using it for defamation issues. So the NCA will also provide content promotion where they are talking. All the social media, there is a plan where they will do community standards in a few months or years to come. They're working on that with the partners so that there will be regulation on social media, since social media cannot be regulated without the community standards that have been set between the authorities involved and the mentor. So they're working towards that, so the country will have at least community standards that will guide them on what to be done and what should not be to be given out in terms of dissemination of information, and the use of defaming other people should be reduced by then if there are going to be a regulation on social media. So as for now, that's all we have for you. Joining you here is Akuch Maker, who has been moderating this live event from Radisson Blu in Juba.
If, the metaverse, you can't, even if you have something to eat in the metaverse, but your stomach is still empty physically. So maybe, we don't know, maybe in the future, it will be possible as well to fill our stomach, even if you have a virtual food. So far, there are studies who are being developed to see at least if I can, from, let's say, cooking the fish in the virtual world, at least I can feel the smell of the fish in the really world. So those are the opportunity for metaverse and the application. But metaverse ecosystem is depending on so many things. So it depending on connectivity, it depending on platform, it depending on creator, and it depending also on the device. On the device side, I told you about the Quest and the glasses and all the devices are coming. But mostly opportunity we see a lot, it will come with the creator. The challenge are still there in terms of connectivity, and the platform could be the cloud and also any platform that can allow to this metaverse to be real. So innovation to accelerate high-speed connectivity. So it requires innovation in a policy and regulation on business model and technology to ensure that all Africans have access to high-speed connectivity. So in terms of policy and regulation, we need a policy and innovation that will attract more investment in the connectivity space. We always say connectivity precedes, or no, technology precedes the law, but we need to pay attention. When technology is new, we should not be in a hurry to regulate that technology. Otherwise, we are going to block the innovation. What we need is a kind of policy that will attract more investment. In terms of business model, we need business model innovation to enable services provided to share resources and bring down the cost of developing and operating the network. As you know, the cost of the network is an issue. What is a business model that can bring down the cost of developing the network? In terms of technology innovation, we need a technology innovation to transform the traditional way of rolling out network to more open, disaggregated network. You will see we talk more about open AI today within Meta. We talk about open access to some facility like True Africa, cable, and other technology that we use to deploy, because we believe in this technology innovation that can transform the traditional way of running out the network. Policy to business model innovation, mostly network as a services, co-investing to deploy shared infrastructure. The sharing infrastructure is very important, or satellite Wi-Fi. Why? It also reduces the cost and allow operator to move very fast and quickly when infrastructure is shared, instead of duplicating all the infrastructure on the same places. Why not come up with a model where we encourage operator to share the fiber infrastructure? On technology innovation, there is this telecom infra project. Is a very good initiative where we discuss about open access technology and open RAN, which is very, very needed for countries like South Sudan and even countries like DRC. So, yeah, satellites, yes, even if we talk about connectivity today, about fiber or whatever, but fiber is not going everywhere, and fiber is not going to replace satellite. So we will still need satellite. And spectrum policy is very key to high-speed connectivity growth in SSA. So we also advocate to maximize the use of licensed spectrum and to make available more unlicensed spectrum. And that was our fight for during the WRC, and where at least we have space for the development of this unlicensed spectrum band. So yeah, to Africa, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we are doing so far as Meta. I think you have heard about To Africa. This is the longest submarine cable system in the world today. Just FOI, you have seen like these 2 days around Cote d'Ivoire, there are almost 6 or 7 fiber cuts there. So to Africa, it's going to be, we need more fiber, just in terms of resilience for our continent. And why it is important and why this to Africa is really unique. Is unique in the fact that this is the first cable around Africa that connects Africa and Europe without any interruption. All the fiber we see around Africa, they have interaction, they have cross-connect somewhere, but this is without any interaction. And it's connecting 32 countries in total, and 19 countries are located in Africa, with 21 landing stations, which mean in some countries like South Africa and Nigeria, we simply have 2 landing stations. The cable is 45,000. It's 16 fiber pair using the latest technology of Alcatel, which is STM16. And the maximum capacity can go up to 180 terabits per second. And this is an open access model. Open access means it's open to any operator to can have access in a country where we are landing. But the challenge that we still have, and this is where we need cooperation with policymakers, with operators. How do we bring this connectivity beyond the coastal country? We see countries like South Sudan. How do we bring this connectivity could be from Kenya or from TRC to all the way South Sudan? How the country can negotiate, especially on the cross-connect fees, the transit fees, and all of this, invest on the terrestrial backbone to make sure that they get this connectivity, because we are landing only on coastal country. How do we bring? And those are the challenge where we need country to discuss about, and where we need country cooperation. We need a good regulation to allow our people to have access to this high-speed connectivity. We started our landing since 2022, and the first landing was in Guinea, and today we have landed in almost all the 19 countries across the region. So still we need to address what we say the relevance and readiness challenge to fully to fully get the opportunity resulting from the high-speed connectivity. And those challenges that we have in our continent is accessibility, affordability, even if we have access to the infrastructure, but what is the cost? That's why we come up with the affordability. Is this the cost accessible for everybody? And what is the relevance of the internet? What are the content? When we talk about relevance, we're looking at local content, because even if the internet, so there will not be motivation for people to get access. Today, studies show that 60% of our content are mostly going to Facebook and Google. So we need to encourage our developer to come up with relevant content for us. And the readiness is the capacity to access to the internet, including the skills, the cultural acceptance, and supporting of the policy. So this is the view I wanted to share with you. We collaborate with partners to address those issues in different places. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Open
Thies.
if you have any question.
Thank you so much. Let's give Mr. Thies Kazad a round of applause. And with this, we will have a conversation, yes, a public conversation from Creators Corners, and the theme is leveraging digital media platforms, and it will be moderated by Nelson Kwaje. Please join me in giving Nelson Kwaje a round of applause as he moderates the next session.
Thank you. And Nelson is our trusted partner. We do have a lot to do in the region with what we call our trusted partner. I think it's going to give you more detail on what is the role of our trusted partner in the region. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a delight also seeing you here. Thanks, everyone. I think these I will have probably like 1 or 2 questions to you from the audience, and then before we move to the next session, as Nelson Kwaje, this your presentation was full of a lot of knowledge and information, albeit some of it is very technical, but I think it's one of the highlights of it is the 2 Africa cable, and I think nice to see MTN here, who are part of this consortium. Basically, they want to connect the whole of the continent and reduce the cost of connectivity. I think probably what I'll do before actually I ask questions, I'll probably want, it's a delight to have the CEO of MTN here, Godian. I'll probably want him to comment on at least some of this aspect of connecting the continent. I understand your company is part of that consortium in terms of the 2 Africa cable. What is your view on some of the stuff that Meta is doing to improve connectivity? Okay. I think I would probably want to ask this question to Thies. Regarding this, there is a huge concern about, like right now in this country and also like other countries in neighboring, like Facebook also becomes synonymous with the internet. Like here at times, whenever someone says, I want to get to the internet, they actually mean they want to get to Facebook. And I know you have what do you call the free basics, and now you're now owning, you're participating in infrastructure. What does that say about exclusion or intention to monopolize the infrastructure and the content creation in the continent? Some people are saying like, okay, what in the future if I'm on this Meta network, will my Google be slower, or will someone make sure that my LinkedIn is not as fast as Facebook or WhatsApp? Yeah. What do you say in case of such fears? That your company might have a total control over some of these technologies?
Yes, thank you very much for the question, and thank you. I appreciate the feedback from MTN. So, 2 Africa, for example, is a consortium of 8 operators and the biggest operator in the region. So, it's not a cable owned by Meta. Meta might be the main investor, but it's a consortium of MTN, the consortium of Vodacom, China Mobile International, Wyok, Orange, and Saudi Telecommunication Company, Telecom Egypt, and STC. So there are 8 consortium members investing on this infrastructure. So it's not like Facebook. We are providing the support to improve the connectivity for the region, because we know if we get more people online, there is a chance for these people will use also our platform. So we expect our platform to grow in the region, because yes, I agree with you when you say in so many countries today, especially in SSA, Facebook is seen as the first entry door to the internet. And this is why some are trying to match the Facebook index or to match him with the internet index. And if you see in some places, they are not that very different, because people who have access to internet, they automatically also have access to one of our platforms. So Meta, we don't compete with telecom and we don't own this infrastructure. We do the development of the infrastructure in collaboration with our partner. We have built the first fiber in Africa. It was in Sudan, not in Sudan, it was in Uganda with our partner BCS. More than 800 kilometers of fiber. I've been there all the way to the border of South Sudan, I think a place called Koboko, on this fiber. So this fiber belonged to, it was a co-build with BCS. It's just an effort to support. In Nigeria, we built the terrestrial fiber with the support of supporting MainOne. In DRC, more than 3,000 kilometers of fiber with Vodacom, with Orange, with Airtel, and with Liquid Telecom. So Meta is not owning the infrastructure. We are just supporting the effort that is coming in the country in terms of connectivity. So I think this fear is a normal, because when we come to, we are too big, yes, but we don't own those infrastructure. Is our contribution to improving the contribution in the region. So we used to have like free basics. Again, it was another partnership between Meta and the telecom operator, where we say, can you allow these people to have free access, at least to the email, not image or not video, but at least to the text message? Because if they start using this guy will be willing to buy more internet because they will need to see photo. Imagine your mom send you the photo, but you can't see the photo, you see only the image. What is going to happen? Or you see only the text. So you'll be willing to go and find some money, put some airtime, and see the video. So we are also contributing to the revenue for our partner, who are telecom operator, because people, when they access to our platform are free, but when they access to our platform, they need to buy airtime from the telco operator. So it's a kind of combination, which it's really, really helping improve connectivity in our region.
Okay, thank you so much, Thies, for that. By show of hands, how many people here use the free basics or have used it before? Okay, I'm not saying that you don't have money. I'm just asking if you have used it. How many people use the free basics? I think a lot. I see it in South Sudan. It's very popular, especially with our younger demographic who don't have like the buying power or the telecoms will not allow them to have the buying power to enjoy this. I just want to, Thies, I want you to remain. I'll segue probably 2 more questions. I see the National Communication Authority is there. And also, like, we have the African Telecommunication Union. Probably I'll hand the mic. We'll start from that end, and then we'll come this side. Yes, Mr. John. You're also a DJ. Is that mic on?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Thies, for your participation in this town meeting and the insights that you have shared. I think my question is related to 2 issues. One is the platforms and the geopolitics, and what we tend to see, especially.
Sorry, DJ, I cannot hear you properly. Maybe the microphone.
You just get closer to the mic.
Sorry, my name is John Omo,
Yeah.
African Telecommunications Union. Thank you very much for your presentation and for sharing your views with us. I just wanted to ask a follow-up question to one that has been mentioned by the moderator in terms of competition or collaboration with networks. We increasingly see a new framework of platforms and networks in Europe coming into play in terms of how internet traffic or traffic generating from networks into platforms is being paid for, and increasingly asking the platforms to foot a lot more of the costs of the legwork. What would be Meta's view if, because increasingly we are being asked by networks in Africa that to go the European way and have us agree with social media platforms in terms of fair share of network costs. So of course, I totally agree that platforms are now engaged in the business of network infrastructure, but for existing, the terminal by the end user is still in the hands of the network operators. So what would be your view if African networks were to also argue for a fair share in terms of what the European Network Association is arguing for and are already negotiating with social media platforms? The second thing is, of course, related to politics. We see the social media now is a behemoth in the sense that it's becoming sort of a utility. It's becoming like water, it's becoming like roads, so that if you are switched off it, then one would say, just like internet is a human right, the content from the internet should, the internet be available to anyone who wants to access it. We have seen instances where platforms especially tend, or rather in some cases tend to follow the geopolitics in terms of bans, where they are being asked to switch off certain regions or certain countries, or moderation. I wouldn't want to mention areas of conflict, but I would assume that complaints that have come that content from certain segments of conflict situations tend to be moderated a lot more than opposite views, and so your view in terms of that would be helpful. Lastly, from me, is the sort of policies that you want to see in Africa in terms of encouraging not the internet, the social media platforms are not the internet, but encouraging the uptake of social media in Africa, especially with regard to content that is more relevant to our cultures, to our customs, to our views as a society, as a Congolese, as Southern Sudanese, and such. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Just for the benefit of some people here who are, because I understand our audience is not very technical, Mr. John is asking if Facebook is willing to pay in part or to contribute to the cost of the infrastructure or contribute to the cost of content, like what is now being negotiated in Australia and in other places. On the second point, there is a report that has been published by Internews around content moderation globally. I mean, Meta is at liberty to dispute it, but it was revealed that Meta pays more attention to content moderation in places like Ukraine and in other conflicts, less so than conflicts that are well documented in Ethiopia and in the rest. And this disproportionate response kind of reflects into some of the geopolitics of some of these issues. And I think probably Thies and we both know about this report, so I think it will be good if you can kind of shed light on those. And the third point is on the promoting content that is kind of culturally relevant to our content.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Nkomo. We have been working together for a while, and I'm very happy to see you supporting South Sudan. Thank you very much. So yeah, your questions are very, very important, and those are hot questions today. Discussion are going around the world on the network fees contribution for telecommunication operators. And I remember being involved in the Discussion Africa Dialogue initiative with Smart Africa, discussing again on contribution for network, because the argument from Smart Africa were the fact that universal services contribution did not work. So they are looking for a kind of contribution to come and replace the universal access contribution. And what we told them, so if universal services did not work, you know the reason why it did not work. So why coming up with another fee is why we know that this one did not work. Why not coming up with a kind of incentive to operators who are willing to invest in places where they are not getting revenue? And this will give them motivation to go, because this contribution we have seen in so many administration, money is being paid by telco. The deployment of the network in a rural area is not happening. And this is, again, bringing the gap very high between the development of the internet in the urban and in the rural. So when it comes to the network fees, we are following the discussion. And I'm even happy to let you know that there is a study currently, and the study is going, we shared the study. So this study is on network fees. What is the impact of the network fee? Is it relevant to request for this content provider to pay for the network fees? Why access to the application is not for free? The user paying money to have access to this content. And we know this discussion is mostly, we have seen where most of the network are congested because people using our content. But when we talk about network fee, I think we see the platform coming from outside. We don't see export beyond. Africa can also bring outside. Like today, we are very proud of PESA being used everywhere. So we need to think as well to our own platform in our own region. Let's say an application coming up in South Sudan, and they have to expand to other African countries. Are they also going to be applied to the same regime, or is going to be only to the big tech company? So we take it very, very serious, and we are very involved on the discussion and see what will be the outcome. But something that we always advise is avoiding something that will be have replication on the end user or discourage the investment in the region where we are still suffering from connectivity. So, yeah. But with regard to the content moderation, yes, we have our standard. It's very difficult. And I think those two questions are connected. And how do we promote also the culture? Today is very difficult to have community standards that are aligned with all the laws and the regulation of each and every single country in the world. That's going to be a little bit challenging. What we have our community standard that we try to apply everywhere, but on content that are violating our standard, we are working very closely with country. When the contract are reported to us, we analyze the content and we remove them for our platform. Meta, we want people to spend more time on our platform, but it has to be a well-spent time in our platform. And that's why we encourage a lot of good content, educational content, or very instructive content, because if we have this content, people can come to our platform and learn something new. This is learn something about the culture, because it's a platform of everybody, bad and good. We don't know who is who, but content are available for everywhere. I think we also need to encourage good content to our platform, and this is the only way we can preserve our culture, and this is the only way we will make sure that people, when they use internet, they use it, or they use our platform, they use them well. So yeah, I don't know
I think
if you're
this,
satisfied with
I
this
think
feedback, but happy to follow up again with you, Director.
Yeah, I think that the flip side of it, you talked about under enforcement, but of content, but there is under enforcement in a lot of places. There is actually content that shouldn't be on the platform in a lot of these countries. It still exists. So I think the question, not the question, the recommendation is I think Meta should invest more presence and more time in trying to moderate content, especially even in South Sudan right now. We're almost reaching.
Yeah, on that one, we have more than 40,000 people working on because how we moderate the content. We do have a lot of people working, but the challenge that we have, and sometimes is we don't cover all the language or all the dialect. When content are coming in the dialect, in the local language that we can't capture on our platform, this is really challenging, and we need to find people who understand, who can translate to us. And that's why we have like our trusted partner like you, that's why we have our other partner in the region that can help us to understand what is happening. But so far, that we take down are taken down by the AI. It's not even our intervention. We intervene only for 10%. So we have done a lot on that space, but we still didn't do a lot at the same time. And I understand when you talk about the content, but sometimes also in the region, what is happening, nobody report to us. It's very easy to report. It's very confidential. You report on someone, he will not know that you reported, and we take care, we protect you, and then we analyze. But everybody think that somebody else will report, and at the end, we don't receive any report. And we don't even need too many people to report. Like I've seen in some countries, they say, oh, you guys, you need to go and report. When they saw so many complaints, they will do. Only one, it's okay. Only one person report, we take it very seriously. We go to our team analysis, and then we take action. Sometimes they report, we don't take action because we believe it doesn't violate our standard. We also need to pay very attention between the freedom of expression and all of this. So we try to make sure this is also part of the freedom of expression. But if the content is inciting to violence, to talking about pedophilia, pornography, or anything that can harm people, this one we take them very seriously. But when it comes to freedom of speech, or when it comes to misinformation, we say we are not the judge. We are not the judge to say, okay, this information is false and this information is true. What we do, we try to verify with our trusted partner. When they verify, they say that this information is false, and we put the mark to that video that this has been verified by our partner and this is not true, and they can go and read the source.
Yeah.
Because
thank you so much,
we are not
Thies, for that. I would like to open it for the audience, because to get 2 questions from the audience, because I understand we got a lot of questions from the stakeholders. I can see where's the mic, Romy? Okay, good. So there is a hand here. Just introduce what's your name and then your question. Make it one question and be concise to make it easier for us. The gentleman here.
Sorry, I cannot hear the question. Maybe you can try.
He's trying to work with the mic. Okay, it's good now.
Thank you. My name is Makur Efaksheka. My question goes to you, as you say that you have developed an AI that can detect misinformation or fake news and turn it down. How will Facebook control the speech, misinformation and fake news shared through local languages?
Okay.
For instance, in the context of South Sudan, some citizens, they will be posting in Dinga, Nuer, or Bari, and you will not understand. How will you do that?
Okay, super. A lady. Okay. Okay. In front, Honorable. Yeah.
Bishop. Kazad, I think my question is very precise. Honorable Yineyen Kinyika, a board member of the National Communications Authority, and I think my question will go in alignment to what the previous speaker just asked in relation to languages. I also run a non-profit called Google's Eyes Initiative, and currently we are researching on how to build language chatbots in our languages. So I was wondering, does Meta have money for research or not? Because we need money.
Okay, that's a very direct question.
Yes.
From Zain.
Yeah, that's a very great question. Maybe I can respond to these two questions.
Just one.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay,
have one.
cool.
Just last one. Okay. Super. I think these you can answer these three questions and also like just
Yes, I can
conclude
respond.
with,
I can start with the
concluding
last
remarks.
one, Honorable Oye. Thank you very much for all your questions. In terms of election integrity, we do a lot as Meta in the continent, but the problem is we are not for the country. Just recently, in last year, I think, Mr. Komu, you may know, in Kenya or in South Africa or in DRC, we do involve a lot in terms of training all the stakeholders, the civil society, the journalists, the NGO, the government, and all the institutions, talking about our standard, let them understand what is permitted. So what we are trying to avoid as much as possible is interference or using our platform to disturb the electoral process in the country. We even established, when it's very high risk country, we even established what we call a IPOC. It's like people monitoring the platform for more than 24 hours, the day before and the day after the election, just to make sure that any content that might violate the system is taken out. So we do a lot, and I think our team who are covering the East and Horn Africa, Mercy, probably, I'm sure they are aware of the program for the election in South Sudan. We try to make sure, just to understand if there is also
I think from the fourth row, they all said yes. I don't know this side if they know team manager. So I'll ask them to guiding discussion. Now, so we want to discuss content. How do people
the metaverse, because if we don't create them, somebody else will come and create, and we are going to miss that opportunity, this revolution.